Did you see the Politico story? That
I did. There's a lot.
So they went through the USAID thing, and there was roughly $8 million that had went to Politico via subscription fees, essentially subsidizing Politico is what it appears to be on the surface. Politico has this subscription model where their highest plan is like $6,000 to $12,000 a year, depending on how.
It was higher.
I think it was $34,000 a year.
It's crazy
for Politico Pro.
So I don't know.
Yeah, and apparently there's lots of insider information there, and that lots of people and staffers and such, benefit from their access to it. But that sounds to me like bullshit. I've never heard of anything that cost $30,000 a year to subscribe to.
And they had like 250 of them.
Yeah.
So what do you get for $34,000 a year? It was office 8 million. In Politico?
You get goodwill from a journalist.
It was about $6.5 million last year, and already 1.5 had went to them this year, as of 2025. And then Politico's in the room while she announces this at the conference. Like, so Politico subscriptions just went down.
So that's different than what I heard, and I'm not sure my source is right. I could be wrong too. Or
what'd you hear?
Instead, I don't know. But here's what I heard. Politico, the thing that we all know, that Politico website, I thought it was left-leaning, but I don't really read much Politico. I'm not sure. They got $44,000, not $8 million. The thing that the money is going to is Politico Pro. Turns out Politico Pro is not the same as Politico. Politico Pro is this like think tank deep learning thing with in-depth issues, and they like write. It's for professionals who write legislation for them to do deep research on. And it's $10,000 a subscription. And also that $8 million, I assumed it was last year, right? Like $8 million. It's over the last 9 years. So over the last 9 years, they spent $8 million on Politico Pro mostly. And I heard $44,000 on Politico. Say that again.
As well.
6.5 last year and 1.5 this year is the numbers that I've seen quoted over and over. What it does is beyond my comprehension, clearly. But yeah,
don't say that.
It's some kind of a Washington insider website with deep learning. That sounds like that sounds like
because when the government needs lots of in-depth data, they don't have reams of that paid for by the taxpayer. They need Politico Pro to go ahead and deep dive. And like, so it to me, I'm a retard, but seems like it's just a way to justifiably get large sums of money to a journalistic entity. So where you could go, oh no, this is for a subscription service. And then like, if I work at Politico and I know that a large amount of money is just coming from USAID through some non-government organization or whatever, they're all buying this, or maybe even directly, I'm not going to be negative towards them. I'm going to be pretty positive.
I was just looking at Politico Pro, and the first thing it said, like on their little subtext or whatever, is nonpartisan news and bill tracking. And I'm like, wait a minute, isn't that just fucking reporting on what the people are supposed to? The sources seem backwards here. Why would a staffer need to bill track something that is their job to push?
Yeah, as if there's not a more sophisticated government option for that. As if like Mitch McConnell's sitting down like, oh, rats, can someone get in here? My Politico Pro expired, and I'm nothing without my Politico Pro.
You could give him Politico Pro. You could give him all sorts of. I don't think he could read it, man.
I don't think he
could.
Dude,
did you see?
He's just gonna stand there all still, looking.
No,
weird.
he's not. You know, he fell, right?
Based just.
Did you hear that DOGE employee just got fired?
No, I haven't heard about that.
No, not at all.
Apparently, a bit of a racist. His social media got published. And it included stuff like, just for the record, I was racist before it was cool. And you could not pay me to marry outside of my ethnicity. And normalize Indian hate, amongst other stuff.
So
what race is
Taylor,
this guy?
Taylor, when did you leave corporate America?
You've caught me. What race is this guy?
White guy. I saw a picture of him. Good looking guy.
Marco Alez?
Yes. Okay, I went by his picture. Now I'm like,
I just saw Marco Alez, and if I saw that, I would think a Mexican.
Here. I haven't read this article, but it does show his picture.
Does he do good work?
Probably. I've seen a lot of criticism of the DOGE staff's age and their access. I've never seen anyone criticize like exactly what I don't know. They criticize what they're doing, but they're smart. One of them, I think the 19-year-old is like a literal genius. who like developed an AI technology to decode some language that's never been understood before. I don't even know how one would begin to go about that task. But he's like just a next level thinker, super duper smart.
So to interject a little bit on that, that's something I'm really interested in as far as AI goes, because they have there's a few ancient tablets that haven't been deciphered because there's so little of the language there, and that sort of AI can figure out stuff like that. So that's fascinating. Yeah. No, I don't care who he's got in there or what they're looking at. They're like, oh, Elon saw my social security number. Who better to see it than the richest man on the planet? I don't care. Like it's not. You know what I mean? Like
better than a Nigerian prince.
I just saw this compilation of the right warning us about George Soros, but they put Elon Musk's photo in there, so they're not talking about Musk, but it really fits. And it was like, yeah, I kind of wish you guys, not you guys, but like the right would see this to understand how the left feels.
I like that every day they come out with a new list of like waste that they found, and it's always
some of this shit's absurd.
It's absurd. It's like supporting DEI in the Estonian military. You know, it'll be gay operas in Ireland, and I'm not making that up. Like I mean, it wasn't actually a gay opera in Ireland, but it was something similar to that. It was like a trans opera in Sweden. If it wasn't what I said, it was like one after another after another.
I think the thing that drives
true.
me,
like they lied about the condoms to Hamas. Apparently, that was just made up.
They just got the location.
Politico
to like Mozambique
sort of
or
conflated with the Politico that we all know.
No. The Politico thing is it's the same. It's the same institution,
but it's not. They act like it was subscriptions to the website that we've all seen. They didn't say that it was like this deep dive geared towards government employees.
It's like I think YouTube. Yeah. Oh well, there was like 8 million subscriptions to YouTube. It's like no, it was YouTube Red. In fact, it was YouTube Premium. It's like, well,
no, this is a professional service that costs $10,000 a pop. It's not the thing you're thinking of.
Yeah, but like it's still the government backfeeding huge sums of money for a subscription. I guarantee isn't worth 30,000 or 34, whatever number it is a year.
You're guessing like I am. I don't know what it's worth.
Well, I know the government has more sophisticated data than Politico Pro, and so and they're also finding stuff now of like backfilling more money towards journalists and journalistic institutions, and that's just a way to buy press to get.
We did turn off. We turned off. It was like 13 million that was for Haitian police forces. So nobody's paying the police in Haiti today.
Haiti doesn't have police.
No. They don't have police today.
But I don't.
Far. The thing and like the Gaza condom thing, I did see that, and they were like, "We're sending condoms to Gaza." And then I saw a bunch of like fact checkers being like, actually, it's to the Gaza region of Mozambique, and it's like. Yeah, like that's really a distinction without a difference. Like you realize that we still don't want to be giving $50 million to condoms that aren't.
That's a lot of rubbers
in Mozambique. Like,
how was it really 50 million? Because that's a lot of condoms.
I don't remember the number. It was a lot of money for, and then of course that's probably going to some non-government organization or charity or something.
In the previous 3 years, USAID spent $0 on condoms to the entire Middle East.
Yeah,
and the Trump administration offered no evidence that it ever happened.
Mozambique is in Africa.
Is it not? The Middle East doesn't include Northern Africa?
No, not typically.
It does when I make the map.
It does when I make the So like they were like the tiddlywinking over like, actually it wasn't X million to this here. It was X million to this equally retarded thing here. And it's like, okay, well, distinction without a difference.
The thing that drives me crazy is that like most of the talking points, I guess, that you hear are either like fact checking like little details that like aren't really the point, or they're like, well, nobody voted for Elon, so therefore this is fascism, whatever. But nobody seems to have an issue with the actual spending itself. Like the conservatives are more pissed off at the spending. It's funny to make fun of the fact that like we're it's kind of funny, kind of sad, but like we're spending $500,000 a year on like LGBTQ plays to influence trans rights in Pakistan or whatever the example is today. But I think have more of an issue with the fact that like, dude, I could pay taxes for the rest of my life on a typical salary and never equate to half of the amounts going to these stupid things. It's like that hurts as a taxpayer.
Imagine the absurdity we'll find, because I've seen a lot of people being like, "Oh, the USAID is only 1% of our budget, like a small amount," and it's like, yeah, if we're finding this amount of nonsense in 1%. Imagine if the Pentagon gets audited. How many times has the Pentagon come out and been like, "Oh, actually, we misplaced." Actually, wasn't it September 10th, 2001, that they said they had lost $1 trillion or something absurd?
They found 44 grand going to Politico. That's what the number I saw from USAID. The other stuff wasn't USAID based, and I'm like, man, 44 grand. Like, not that I want it thrown away, but we're looking at pennies here.
So, real quick, they were organizations funded by USAID acting as intermediaries that then paid them. So these are going through layers and
because I still keep seeing the 8.2 million number for like
that's I think the 8.2 is lifetime. Like that's the
I think it's 0.5 last year, 1.5 this year, and I saw a breakdown for which departments the funds were drawn from. So it's like agriculture 500,000, economic oversight blah 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 800,000, and they went through a whole list of how that 6.5 and then that 1.5 was coming from.
What is your? That's different than my source. I'm only as good as my sources, but where did you see that? Do you remember?
I watched Fox and CNN, so I don't know. And News Nation.
I don't know what to make of it. Anyway,
News Nation's got the bodies. And it's got this. News Nation has this poor blonde chick on the border with these like tarantula eyelashes.
Twitter DOGE is not a source, Zach. This is bullshit.
This
is where the misinformation comes from.
Go down
Zach
and click.
Has provided so many fucking Twitter links as proof to different things here and there.
Well, shit. To be fair, if it's a video from transcribing a video from C-SPAN, that's a little bit more reputable.
What is the? Oh, that's just a video of the talking head from this administration talking though.
Don't call her that. She's pretty. That's a pretty talking head. So slow down,
she's
Zach.
Pretty, Taylor.
I don't care about dad. I want to see that pretty lady.
Yeah, well, I guess okay. Yeah, she's a pretty lady.
She looks like a chipmunk.
Yeah. I'm just teasing.
Yeah,
but like
a sexy chipmunk. Like I just want to see her like store a bunch of walnuts in her cheeks.
Here's what you know. What I want to look at. I want to look at veterans who fake their injuries. That's the thing. Almost everyone in the world I know who leaves the U.S. military,
just dumping guys out of wheelchairs.
They're just fucking.
I knew it.
Hey,
look, he can crawl.
Pete Hexas agrees with me. I'm enthusiastic that something will happen. It is military culture at this point to say you've got a little bit of PSDD, a little bit of bad back, and a little bit of rough elbow. And now that my 50% disability, I want to collect that for life. They counsel each other while they're still in there. Dude, get that documented. Make it seem like it was on the job. And they all leave with disability packages.
The only time it pisses me off is when, and this is like a real story for me, when I took my motorcycle safety course, I was like 18, and there was this other kid in there that was like 22, never deployed, but he had like gotten fucked up or whatever, like from a jump, like he rolled his ankle and was able to get like an absurd disability rating from the training. And me and him used to race to the parking lot. Like he was fine. Like he was 22, could sprint, no fucking problem. And he had like an absurdly high disability rating, while there's people that, basically functionally have lost complete control of limbs that have like 40%.
Let me hit it back.
That
now.
Sucks.
I know like 6 people like that. And they're super athletic. Some of them work athletic jobs like firefighter type stuff. And they're on disability, because of their lifelong injuries from this. And it is super normal. I know an older guy, right? This guy served, I can't... If I tell these stories with any detail, the people in my life know I'm talking about them. But this guy was like high-ranking Army, and he took full advantage of this stuff too, and he did well. Owned an airport. It's just built into the culture to keep sucking on the government's teat for the rest of your life.
At the same time, I would on the veteran issue, I would argue that there's more people that probably get fucked by the VA than people who are fucking the VA. I think that the veterans are usually the fuckies and not the fuckers.
It's almost like body cams. Like, I don't care like which side comes out on top. I just want it to be good. I want it to be and that's what police body cams get me. They expose the truth, or whether the police is a good guy or the bad guy, like where it is.
Which is kind of why I like that exact same reason is kind of why I like DOGE. I'm like, I don't give a shit which side people point out like, oh, well, one of the Trump family members got some of the USAID money. I'm like, cool, kill that too. I don't care. I'm like, I don't ever think that transparency in government, us knowing what the government's spending money on and pointing out how ridiculous it is ever a bad thing.